It's an unfortunate remark and that he thought would be a funny joke that went wrong on the fly, and it was inappropriate. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, did he just say that?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most notable examples of talk show hosts who pushed a joke too far, caused a scandal, and or did something considered offensive.
We really want to talk about that now?
Number 10, Jimmy Kimmel and Rihanna share a Twizzler. Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Hey, I was wondering if you could help me with something called the Twizzler Challenge. Do you know about this?
Tell me about it.
With the pop star Rihanna as his guest, Jimmy Kimmel makes a bold move to share a moment with her. He encourages her to try a challenge in order to promote autism awareness. Reenacting Lady and the Tramp with a Twizzler, the two both take an end and make their way to the center. It's an awkward scene that puts both Rihanna and the host up close and personal. They both laugh it off, but the segment still leaves you with an uneasy feeling. Most viewers would assume that this was all a scheme for Kimmel's own amusement. The singer does end up mentioning the presenter's wife, Molly, perhaps to get some payback of her own by the end.
Definitely Jim Parsons.
Okay.
Who should his partner be?
Jim Parsons' partner? Maybe also Chewbacca.
Or Molly.
Number 9, Megyn Kelly brings up plastic surgery with Jane Fonda. Megyn Kelly Today.
I mean, there was nobody more gorgeous than him.
I love that they were looking at him saying, oh my God, which
They
is how
couldn't get enough.
we
Well,
all
They say
felt.
that now, too. They go, oh, my God.
With legends Jane Fonda and Robert Redford as guests, Megyn Kelly had a great lineup for her show. The segment takes a wrong turn though when the host decides to bring up Jane Fonda's thoughts on aging and plastic surgery. Fonda looks taken aback, trying her best to maintain her composure.
Why did you say, I read that you said you felt, you're not proud to admit that you've had work done. Why not?
We really want to talk about that now?
It's up to each viewer to determine just how angry she really is in the moment. The presenter doesn't seem to realise the shock the question generates, or that it might have struck a nerve. As the guest changes the subject, the controversial exchange moves quickly to thoughts on her latest project.
But let me tell you why I love this movie that we did, Our Souls at Night, rather than plastic surgery.
Back to that, huh?
Number 8, Jimmy Fallon ruffles Trump's hair. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon.
Can I mess your hair up?
When Donald Trump appeared on The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon chose to keep things light. But the host went too far when he decided to mess with the then candidate's hair. While Fallon seemed to mean it as a joke, the infamous moment took on a life of its own. It all happened less than a month away from the presidential election. In light of Trump's controversial candidacy and presidency, the interview took on another context altogether. The comedian's attempt to turn a politician into a comic character felt like a misstep, regardless of your personal beliefs. Even years later, the entire interview comes off as nothing short of cringy.
When you first started running, you were very high voiced. Your voice was very high. Hey, China, you say China?
Number 7, Letterman interviews Paris Hilton. Late Show with David Letterman. It wasn't uncommon for this host to talk his way into uncomfortable subjects. Unafraid to bring up controversies, David Letterman asks Paris Hilton about her time in jail.
Which do you prefer, New York City or Los Angeles?
I like both. I like the weather in LA better, but I love New York City.
New York City is exciting, though, isn't it?
I was born here, yeah.
Yeah, good for you. How'd you like being in jail?
She tries to answer the host while also looking a little annoyed. Hilton might be a divisive figure, but it's hard not to feel for her as she discusses her legal troubles.
Obviously, it was a very traumatic experience.
God, was it? You know, I think
I did it, so
Yeah.
I feel like I can do anything
you
now.
can survive anything,
Yes.
sure.
Letterman doesn't let up as he digs further into one of the low points of the hotel heiress's life. The presenter plays the segment for comedic effect, but it's ultimately sad to watch.
Did you have three meals a day?
Yes.
Did you start with the breakfast?
obviously.
What would the breakfast be?
Like a hard-boiled egg and an orange.
That's not bad. Hard-boiled egg and an orange. You can't go wrong there, honestly.
In interviews after the fact, the guest said that she had an emotional reaction to the events. It's easy to understand why after watching the clip.
Well, I hope the more time you spend here, the more time you'll come and see us, because I feel like we've been cheated out of a visit.
I know. I missed you guys.
Well, we certainly missed you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The lovely Paris Hilton, ladies and gentlemen.
Number 6, Ellen talks babies with Mariah. The Ellen DeGeneres Show. In 2008, Mariah Carey joined the Ellen DeGeneres Show to chat about her life and career. The conversation soon turns to the topic of her potential pregnancy.
And then the other thing is that people are saying that that you're pregnant. There's rumors.
Don't discuss that.
The singer plays it coy, but the host pushes the guest for an answer. This includes toying with Carey by offering her champagne. The artist kindly pushes back, likening the treatment to peer pressure.
I can't believe you did this to me, Ellen.
What? No,
Are you trying
I'm
to
not
just...
going to ask you if you're pregnant
This
or not.
is peer pressure. Do you see what Ellen is doing? This is peer pressure.
DeGeneres pours a glass and makes a toast as the vocalist tries to get out of it. It all leads up to the comedian wanting to make the big announcement, not stopping to think about her guest's state of mind. Carey later spoke ill of the interview, and we don't blame her for it.
Now, in an interview with Vulture, Mariah is addressing that extremely uncomfortable moment with DeGeneres, telling the mag that she's really had a, quote, hard time grappling with the aftermath.
Number 5, Letterman talks to Lindsay Lohan about rehab. Late Show with David Letterman.
Well, you look remarkably well.
Working through her own personal demons, Lindsay Lohan still chose to go on David Letterman's show. The comedian doesn't waste much time in bringing up the actress's past. Pressing her about rehab, Letterman wants to know the details that aren't as easy to talk about.
Lindsay Lohan punched a psychic in a nightclub. It was right after the psychic told her, "You will soon punch a psychic in a nightclub."
Set up.
Now, aren't you supposed to be in rehab now?
Lohan tries to play along, even though she appears to be less than enthused. With continued questions about substance use, the guest endures a storm of jokes at her expense.
You have to be in rehab May 2nd. Are you going to be there? You'll be there, right? Who's taking you to rehab? You don't want to talk about that either, right?
The presenter tries to bring it all back around with some encouraging words that seem too little and too late. Lohan has a sense of humour about her mistakes, but the interviewer can't seem to stop.
No, I love seeing you.
Yeah, I love seeing you, honestly.
I do.
It's nice. Oh,
Stop.
Oh, she's tearing up a little bit. God bless you.
Number 4, Oprah gets personal with Nathan Lane, The Oprah Winfrey Show. To promote their film The Birdcage, Nathan Lane and Robin Williams appeared on The Oprah Winfrey Show. The host questioned Lane about his role and his sexuality.
Were you afraid of taking that role and being like typecast and people forever saying, are you or are you not? Is he, honey? I don't know.
It was a rather forward way of discussing the subject, especially considering that it was a difficult cultural landscape in the 90s.
So?
What was the question? All right.
Before the actor could answer, his co-star popped in to divert attention away.
Oh, you changed just in the middle of that sentence. I don't know, I'm telling you.
Lane later recalled that Williams saved him from having to reveal anything to Winfrey.
And then, of course, she was like, how come you're so good at that girly stuff? You know, and I was, you know, are you worried about being typecast? And then Robin sort of swoops in and diverts the, you know, Oprah goes off on a tangent. And
it was definitely too forward to ask about the guest's sexual orientation, only putting the interviewee into a difficult position. The performer said that he was not ready to discuss the topic at the time, and thankfully there was someone there to help. Number 3, Jay Leno gets too close to Judith Light. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. When Judith Light arrived on The Tonight Show, she demonstrated how a particular outfit could be taken off for filming purposes.
I can actually show you how that works.
This segment included an eager Jay Leno wrapping his arms around the actress. Despite her uneasiness, the host stayed in close proximity and made a few jokes at her expense. It's definitely awkward, and more than a little gross to watch Leno manhandle her.
Now just
I tie your arms with these?
No, you don't.
This is especially true when Light asks to cut away, with the comedian continuing his questionable behaviour. And guest Chris Farley's antics only make it worse. It's hard to imagine this sort of segment flying on any current talk show.
Oh, I see. It's just the top. Oh, I see. And I see that's the breakaway.
Right, and what happens is the skirt does break away
see.
also.
Now I see how you got the part. I understand.
Thank you.
I see. And that's the breakaway.
My mother's going to kill me.
Number 2, Kelly Osborne on Trump, The View. While a guest host on the popular ABC show The View, Kelly Osborne chose to speak out against Donald Trump. Her choice of words weren't exactly the best. In response to the politician's immigration stance, the presenter chose to make a controversial statement about Latinos.
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
The reaction from her co-host says it all. While Osborne tries to walk it back, the damage is immediately done. There's a lesson to be learned here about knowing what to say and when to say it.
No, I didn't mean it like that. Come on.
She might have been trying to make a point, but it ends up being drowned in offensive and insensitive language.
I got cut off. I didn't get to finish what I was going to say, which turned the first half of it into a joke. But even if I told you what I was going to say, people wouldn't believe me anyway.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Bill Maher uses a racial slur, Real Time with Bill Maher. No stranger to controversy, Bill Maher finds himself in hot water on a semi-frequent basis. This includes when he chose to use a racial slur on Real Time.
Maher, a comedian known for pushing boundaries, crossed a line when he uttered a racial slur. He was responding to Nebraska Senator Ben Sasse, who invited Maher to visit his state and work in the fields.
Maher was interviewing Senator Ben Sasse at the time, using the insensitive phrase in response to the Nebraska politician's mention of working in the fields. The media backlash followed soon, with the comedian offering up an apology.
Last night was a particularly long night, as I regret the word I used in the banter of a live moment. The word was offensive, and I regret saying it, and am very sorry.
Regardless of the context, the host stepped over the line when he decided to say what he said. He also received direct criticism on his show by the likes of Ice Cube.
What made you think that it was cool to say that?
You know, I just...
That's one question.
I just explained, there was no thought put into it. Obviously, I was telling Dr. Dyson, comedians, they react. And it was wrong, and I apologized.
Did we forget another memorable time talk show hosts went too far? Let us know in the comments below.
We're talking backstage. The thing about that having sex on a plane.
As you have, clearly.
Well, oddly, I have.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.